At beginning of the drama, we see the female lead, Xiaohua. After having breakfast, she quickly leaves her house for school. Then she stops to get some snacks from a roadside shop when she sees that a person who was busy on his phone hits a delivery boy with his car, and then comes and starts shouting at the delivery boy, "My car has been scratched because of you, now you will have to pay for it." The boy says, "You suddenly increased your car's speed and hit me." So that person says, "Has anyone seen me hit you?" And he starts asking everyone there loudly, "Did anyone see me hit him?" At this, Xiaohua, a bit nervous, says softly, "Yes, I saw it." At this, person gets very angry, and threatening Xiaohua, he asks, "Did you really see it?" So she gets scared and starts backing away. Just then, the male lead, Lan Jing, comes in front of her and says to the person, "Yes, I saw it. You hit him, and on top of that, you want to take money from him." The man also asks him in the same angry manner, "Did you really see it?" So Lan Jing says without fear, "Yes, I saw it with my own eyes. You hit him, and now you are trying to blackmail him." He gets very angry at Lan Jing and grabs his collar and starts arguing with him. From a distance, our second male lead, Ling Dong, records a video of them. When Xiaohua sees him, she keeps staring for a while because Ling Dong is a student from her class. Ling Dong asks Xiaohua for her phone and calls the police. Everyone there sees the video and they find out that it is the person's fault, and now he wants to forcefully extort money. So the public starts getting angry at him. Just then, Lan Jing's eyes fall on Xiaohua's uniform, so he asks, "Are you also from Shenzhen High School?" She says, "Yes." At this, he says, "Well done." Soon the police arrive and take the person away and also thank Xiaohua and Lan Jing for their help. And then she asks, "Are you both from Shenzhen High School?" Lan Jing says, "Yes." So they say, "So don't you have class today?" Hearing this, they remember that they had left for school and have been standing here for a long time. Both of them run from there, and they come to school and attend their class. After class, when Xiaohua comes out, some girls from another class were forcing her to bring snacks for them. Just then, hearing their conversation, Lan Jing comes there and says, "From today, she will not bring any snacks for you, only for me, because I am her teacher and she is my student." He was a bit of a bad boy type student, so those girls don't talk to him and leave from there. After they leave, Xiaohua says, "When did I become your student?" So Lan Jing says, "Didn't I teach you how to ride a bicycle while coming to school today? So in that sense, I am your teacher." Saying this, he also leaves from there. Then we see Ling Dong, who is in the classroom when a girl comes and gives him a letter. This used to happen often with Ling Dong. Many girls in the class liked him, and he used to receive such letters. Just then, Lan Jing comes there and seeing the letter says, "You should set up a stall for these." Then he takes his book and starts looking at it, so Ling Dong says, "Don't touch my things." Saying this, he takes his book back, but Lan Jing takes his book again, saying, "What happened if I touched it?" But while snatching it, the book tears. Lan Jing says, "I didn't do it on purpose, I will give you money for it." Ling Dong doesn't say anything to him and tells the teacher, "I don't want to be Lan Jing's deskmate. It is having a bad effect on my studies." The teacher says, "Sit for now, you can change after the class." Then all the students come to the playground. There, Ling Dong challenges Lan Jing, "If you beat me in a race, I will forgive you for tearing my book, and if you lose, you will have to change your desk." The race starts. In the initial rounds, Lan Jing is ahead, but in the last round, he falls, and Ling Dong is about to win, but Lan Jing trips him too, due to which some other student wins the race instead of them. Now Ling Dong gets even more angry with him and comes to the principal and says, "I don't want to sit with Lan Jing, please change my desk. Being with him will have a bad effect on my studies." Just then, Lan Jing comes there and hears his words and says to him, "Oh wow, you are very interesting. You're here gossiping about me behind my back." And then he says to the principal, "I have heard that Ling Dong is the best student in the class. That's why I want to sit with him so that I can also learn something from him." But Ling Dong does not agree to this, so Lan Jing starts shouting at him. Just then, Lan Jing's dad comes there and says to him, shouting, "You should not talk to them like this, they are your uncle." Hearing this, Lan Jing is shocked. Actually, Ling Dong is Lan Jing's uncle from a distant relation. Lan Jing says, "How can he suddenly be my uncle?" Ling Dong says, "I also didn't know that my nephew has grown so big." At this, Lan Jing gets annoyed and says, "Call me by my name." The next day, Xiaohua had also brought a letter for Ling Dong, but when she goes to give it to him, she doesn't have the courage. So she gives the letter to her best friend, Xia Qing. Xia Qing takes the letter and puts it in Ling Dong's notebook, but by mistake, she had put the letter in Lan Jing's book instead of Ling Dong's. When they both see the letter in Lan Jing's hand, they are very shocked and start screaming. Seeing this, Lan Jing says, "Is it so unexpected for me to receive a letter that you guys are so shocked? In the school I used to study in before, I used to get tons of such letters." Now Xiaohua gets very worried that if Lan Jing reads that letter, he will know everything. Then they both start thinking of an idea to get the letter back from Lan Jing. After thinking, she comes to Lan Jing and forcibly brings him to the ground and says, "Teach me how to ride a bicycle." Over there, Xia Qing sends Lan Jing's best friend Yi Ming to get milk for her and starts searching for the letter in Lan Jing's books, copies, and everywhere. but she couldn't find it anywhere. Here, Lan Jing, instead of teaching Xiaohua how to ride a bicycle, was busy teaching her some different exercises. Just then, she sees that he has kept the letter in his pocket, so now their plan had failed. So she says to him, "Now I don't want to learn how to ride a bicycle, let's go to class." Here, when Xia Qing was searching for the letter and couldn't find it, she tells Ling Dong that letter was written by Xiaohua for you, not for Lan Jing. Now, Ling Dong also starts helping them get the letter from Lan Jing. As Lan Jing is opening the letter, Xia Qing calls the teacher. The teacher thinks that Lan Jing is using his phone, so she starts asking for his phone. He, in order to save his letter, gives her his phone. When he is about to open the letter again, Xia Qing calls the teacher saying Yiming is using his phone, whereas the poor guy was not even using his phone. He is very shocked and thinks, why did Xia Qing suddenly complain about me? And then he also has to give his phone to the teacher. After the teacher leaves, when Lan Jing sits down to open the letter leisurely, Ling Dong takes the letter from him and says, "Things like this are distracting." At this, Lan Jing takes out all the letters from under his desk and says, "You get letters by the bundle every day and you are giving me a lecture on distraction." So Ling Dong says, "Let's make a bet. We will both go to the playground and run 800 meters, and if you win, I will give you this letter." At this, Lan Jing makes a very innocent face and says, "Hey brother, you took my letter and you want to make a bet with me. This is strange coercion." Ling Dong says, "If you win the bet, I will give you the letter and I will not call you my nephew again." At this, Lan Jing agrees. Before going to the playground, they both put the letter in the box where votes for choosing the best student were to be cast today. As soon as they leave, Xiaohua tries to open the box and take out the letter, but it doesn't open. Here, Ling Dong and Lan Jing were going towards the playground, but Ling Dong returns from the way, making an excuse of going to the washroom. When he comes, he sees that the monitor was taking the box. Here, Lan Jing was standing in the ground waiting for Ling Dong to come so that he could win the race from him and read his letter. But he doesn't come there, so he also goes to the class and gets angry at him. Then he finds out that the box in which his letter was is not here. Just then, they hear a voice on the mic that the best student is about to be selected, which means that now they will open that box to see which student got the most votes, and Xiaohua's letter will also fall into the teacher's hands. This makes her very worried. Lan Jing did not want his letter to fall into the teacher's hands, so he ties himself with a rope and comes like a Superman to take the letter from the teacher, but he is not even able to reach their hands. Instead, he remains hanging in the middle. Seeing this, all the students laugh a lot at him. Then the teacher says, "This letter is yours, right? So come and read it aloud to everyone." Xiaohua is getting very worried. But when Lan Jing reads that letter, Xiaohua understands that the letter was not written by her, but it was full of criticism of Lan Jing. "You are the most stupid student who has no brains at all. When God distributed brains to humans, you were not there." Hearing all this, all the students were laughing at him, and Lan Jing thinks that he worked so hard to get this letter for nothing. After this, Xiaohua is thinking, where did the letter I wrote go? In a flashback, we see Ling Dong when the monitor was taking that box. Ling Dong very cleverly took that box from him and took out the letter from it. In it, Xiaohua had written, "With all the courage I have gathered in the last 17 years, I have written this letter." In that letter, Xiaohua calls Ling Dong her idol and says, "You are everything to me, just like a rose is to a prince. You are like a shining star in the sky." She had also written many other good things about Ling Dong, which he reads and smiles slightly. In the next scene, we see Lan Jing, who comes to the room to practice for basketball. There, he sees that boys from another class are practicing, and a student from their class is busy cleaning the balls. Lan Jing asks him and finds out that if other students want to practice there, they first have to do the work of these students. Then Lan Jing goes and challenges all those students, if I win the match against you, then I and the other students of my class will not do your work, but we can come here and practice of our own free will. They also accept the challenge, and then Lan Jing defeats all those students one by one. And in the end, the captain of all those students, Bipeng, also comes there, and he also challenges Lan Jing to a match. All the students of the school get to know about this, and even the teachers come there. As soon as the match starts, Lan Jing also defeats Bai Peng, which makes him very angry, and he throws the ball at Lan Jing, but it was about to hit the female teacher, but in between, teacher comes and stops the ball. Bai Peng says to the teacher, "Sorry," and all the students leave from there. The next day, like all the students, Lan Jing also brings a plant of his own to school. He was just about to plant it when Bi Peng comes to him and starts fighting with him, and then throws his ball and hits Lan Jing. But he steps back and avoids his ball and picks up the plant he brought and throws it at him, but Bai Peng easily stops it with his hand. But later he finds out that the plant Lan Jing threw was a cactus whose thorns had pricked Bi Peng's hand. Seeing this, Bi Peng starts screaming, and along with him, Lan Jing and Yiming also start screaming. Bipeng goes from there screaming, and Lanjing turns back and says to Xiaohua and Yiming, "You saw it, right? He threw his ball at me first. Now if he complains about me, you two give testimony." The next day when everyone comes to school, they see that a plant was lying broken on the ground. The principal first scolds the teacher for this because she was the one who had asked the students to bring plants. The principal says, if anyone gets hurt by that pot, who will be responsible for it? When Lan Jing comes to the class, all the students are blaming him because everyone thought that he had broken that plant because he was the last one to leave school yesterday. Lan Jing is very upset by this because he had not done it, but no one believed him. He comes out and sees that Ling Dong was checking something at the same place where the plant had fallen. He comes to him and says, "Are you gathering proof against me?" So Ling Dong says, "No, I know you didn't break the plant." Then he says, "The mark made here shows that the plant fell after being hit by something heavy." Hearing this, he remembers about Bai Peng. He goes to him and talks about it. So Bai Peng says to him, "Yes, I broke it, but you have no proof to prove it." Then we are also shown in a flashback how Bai Peng had broken that plant. Bipeng says to Lanjing, "You have no evidence, so you are responsible for whatever happened." Lanjing says, "If you have enmity with me, then fight me head on. Don't make false accusations against me." But Bipeng locks him there and leaves. Lanjing tries to open the door, but it doesn't open, so he sits there. But after some time, the lights there also go off, due to which Lanjing starts remembering the trauma of the past and his condition becomes very bad. Now it was night and all the students had also left the school. That's why no one hears Lanjing shouting. Then we see Ling Dong. He remembers about Lanjing in the middle of the road, so he goes back to the school. He breaks the room where Lanjing was locked and takes him from there because his condition was very bad. He was not even able to walk. He comes out and pours water on him, which makes him conscious. Then Ling Dong asks, "Why did you faint there?" So he says, "I am scared of closed rooms." The next day, Lanjing tells the principal about Bi Peng, but he doesn't believe him at all. So he gets upset and comes to the class and starts packing his things. This was because the principal had told him that if he couldn't find the person who broke the plant, he would be expelled. That's why he starts packing all his things and leaving. Yiming and Xiaohua are very worried for him. The principal and teacher also come there. Just then, a recording starts playing on the class mic in which Bi Peng had said, "Yes, I broke the plant, but you have no proof." Hearing all this, everyone comes to know that it is Bai Peng's fault. Now, the blame is removed from Lanjing, and all the students who had said bad things to Lanjing, they all say sorry to him. Ling Dong had made that voice recording when Lanjing had gone to talk to Bi Peng. Then a new girl enters their class whose name is Meng Yu. She is quite popular in the class. When she comes to the class, all the students go to her to talk to her. The next day, the teacher tells all the students, like every year, this year too, their school will have a talent competition with another school in which all the students will have to show their talent, and the student who gets the most votes will be sent for the competition. Every year, Meng Yu used to get votes to go to that competition, but this time, Xiaohua gets the most votes. Seeing this, Meng Yu's friend gets jealous and starts saying, "This year too, our school will not win any prize." But Lanjing stands up and says, "How can you say that? I think Xiaohua can win the competition, and she will definitely win." But just then, Xiaohua starts crying because every time Meng Yu used to go to the competition, and despite being a good singer, she could never win the competition. And Xiaohua doesn't even know how to sing, then how will she be able to win it? Seeing her crying, Ling Dong and Lanjing also feel very bad. Then Xiaohua comes to the terrace crying. Ling Dong comes after her and motivates her. After he leaves, Lanjing comes there and he also motivates her, and then he takes her to the music room. Lanjing and their friends all together rehearse for Xiaohua's singing. But Lanjing also did not know much about singing, so he comes to Ling Dong for help. But Ling Dong tells him to study. Only if he completes these books, he will help him. That's why Lanjing starts studying with full concentration. In the next scene, we see Xia Qing saying to Xiaohua, "My dad says that drinking raw eggs makes the throat good." Saying this, they all forcibly make Xiaohua drink a raw egg, but after drinking it, she vomits. After this, Lanjing brings a radish for her and says, "You eat this. It will make your voice melodious." She tries eating the radish too, but it has no effect on her voice. Then Lanjing brings garlic for her. "Here, now you try this." She says, "Please don't force me to eat all this. I will go on stage and recite a poem. Anyway, no one expects me to win." Yiming says, "Yes, we should give up on this. I also have to go to play basketball." But Lanjing does not agree. He keeps motivating all of them. "We should not give up on this. We have to win the competition, and we should keep practicing for it." After this, he again comes to request Ling Dong to join their team. But he again gives him a book to study and says, "If you complete this, only then will I help you." Then Lanjing works hard day and night and completes the whole book. When Ling Dong checks it, all his questions are correct. Lanjing says this and leaves from there. Okay, now let's meet in the rehearsal room. After this, all of them friends practice together. Ling Dong tells everyone about music and singing, and Lan Jing teaches him to play the guitar. After a lot of practice, their competition day arrives. All the students come to another school for the competition, but Ling Dong had not reached there, so everyone was waiting for him. Here we see Ling Dong, who was coming by bicycle, but then a car hits him and he falls. Due to this, he gets some minor injuries and his phone breaks. Here, these people were very worried about why Ling Dong has not come yet, and his phone was also not connecting. The performances of all the other students are over and their names are also announced on the stage. But due to Ling Dong's absence, these people were not coming on the stage. Just then, Ling Dong reaches there running. Lan Jing, upon seeing him, starts fighting with him, but Yiming pulls him away saying that this is not the time to fight. Then they all go on stage and give their performance. Their performance is the best, which the audience also likes very much, and everyone claps a lot for them. These people win the competition and come to party in this happiness. Ling Dong apologizes to everyone for being late. Lan Jing asks, "Why were you not receiving my call?" Just then, he sees his broken phone and starts asking about it. But Ling Dong does not tell them anything about his accident. When Xiaohua tells her mom and dad about winning the competition, they are very happy. Dad says, "Our daughter is amazing. You have left me behind too." Mom is very excited and is busy deciding where we should keep this trophy. The next day when Xiaohua comes to school, all the students are praising her. But Meng Yu, who is jealous of her, says she has only won one competition. What's the big deal in that? Just then, Xiaoqing says, "If you are jealous, then say it directly. Why are you making things up while sitting?" In the next scene, we see that after seeing Ling Dong's broken phone, Lan Jing brings a new phone for him, but Ling Dong is not taking that phone. But Lan Jing forcibly starts giving him that phone. This makes Ling Dong angry and he scolds him very loudly in front of the whole class, which also makes Lan Jing angry because he just wanted to help him. Ling Dong also realizes his mistake that he should not have shouted at Lan Jing like this in front of everyone. Then he comes and sits next to Ling Dong and says, "You came here before me, right? So, can you please tell me who wrote this?" He doesn't give any answer to this and takes out his notebook and gives it to him and says, "Exams are coming. You should read this. It will help you in the exam." And then he makes him sit with him and study. In next scene, we see that Meng Yu has published her book. She comes to the class and distributes its copies to all the students. Everyone is praising her a lot. She is so talented. Along with studies, she has also written her own book. After this, the teacher has given some girls the work of putting up posters, but they give their work to Xiaohua and go to get their pictures clicked. When Ling Dong sees her working alone, he comes to help her. Then Lan Jing also comes there and says to Xiaohua, "Are you a fool? Those girls are comfortably getting their pictures clicked there and you are busy doing all their work alone." So Ling Dong says to him, "Shut up and you also help her." At this, Lan Jing says to Xiaohua, "You are very lucky to have met us both. Otherwise, if you had met someone else, I don't know what would have happened to you." Then he explains to Xiaohua, "You have to learn to say no. Otherwise, people will keep taking advantage of you like this." She says, "Yes, I understand." So Lan Jing starts acting, "What did you say? Did you say something? Why can't I hear anything?" Then Xiaohua says in a slightly louder voice, "Yes, I understand. I will try to refuse from now on." Then we see Xiaohua in her house. She is sitting and reading the book written by Meng Yu when she notices that Meng Yu has copied a poem from another book and written it in it. The next day, she goes to school and shows the same thing to Meng Yu. So she says, "Are you going to tell everyone about this?" So Xiaohua says, "I have no such intention, and you are very talented. You don't need to copy, so you should change it." Meng Yu says, "My mom is a very famous writer. That's why I have had to be better than others since childhood. No matter how well I do, their expectations of me increase that much. So I don't want to tell them that I am not a good writer. I don't want to disappoint them." Xiaohua asks, "Have you said these things to your mom?" Meng Yu says, "There is no point in saying it because she doesn't want to listen. She thinks that I am the most talented. I am always afraid that one day she will find out that I am not what she thinks I am." So Xiaohua tells her, "When I don't get good marks in the exam, my mom gets very angry. She scolds me. But after scolding, she always cooks good food for me, loves me a lot, because she knows that I tried my best. That's why you should also talk to your mom about this. If she knows you, she will definitely understand. And I will not tell anyone about you copying." At this, Meng Yu becomes happy and asks, "Are you really not going to tell anyone?" Xiaohua says, "Yes, this will be a secret between us, but you should change it." Then we see everyone in the canteen. All the children are sitting and having lunch, while Meng Yu brings chicken for Xiaohua, which she liked a lot. Seeing this, Lan Jing is surprised and says, "Did she mix poison in it?" Xia Qing asks, "Why is she being so nice to you?" Hearing their conversation, Yiming says, "She is behaving so well, yet why do you people see fault in it?" Oh, he starts eating the chicken brought by Meng Yu, and everyone else eats it too. Then we see Meng Yu at home. She tries to talk to her mom about this, but her mom really doesn't listen to her and keeps telling her her own things. The next day when she comes to school, she sees that all the children had found out about her content copying. Someone had put up her copied lines outside the school, which was revealing that she had copied those lines from another book. When Meng Yu comes there, she thinks that Xiaohua has done all this, so she gets angry with her and says, "I believed you. I thought you would not tell anyone, but you were just pretending to be good in front of me. Everyone gets to know about this." Meng Yu's mom comes to school and removes her name from there too because now she wanted to get her transferred from here. This makes Meng Yu's friends even more angry and they start blaming Xiaohua for all this. All this has happened because of you. Yiming is also very angry that Meng Yu is not going to study in the school, and when Lingdong, Lan Jing, and Xiaohua are leaving school, he comes and stands in front of them and asks Xiaohua, "Why did you do this?" She says, "I didn't do anything like that." Lan Jing, also taking her side, says to Yiming, "Meng Yu herself copied it, then why are you blaming Xiaohua?" So Yiming says, "It is not yet proven that she copied it, then what was the need for Xiaohua to put up a poster and tell everyone about it?" Lan Jing says, "She said so. She has not done anything like that." Yiming says, "Meng Yu told me that only Xiaohua knew about this." Then Lingdong says, "There is no proof that Xiaohua has done all this. That's why we should find out who did this." Lanjing also says, "Yes, Lingdong is right." This makes Yiming angry with him, and he says, "It means whatever you are saying is right, and everything I say is wrong. Xiaohua has no proof, yet you are believing her, but not me." Saying all this, he leaves from there. Later that night, Yiming comes to talk to Meng Yu. She asks, "Why did you call me?" Yiming says, "I heard that you are changing schools." So Meng Yu says, "What does that have to do with you?" Yiming says, "Once I told the teacher that my homework flew away in the air, but actually I had not written it. Once I came late, so I told the teacher that I have a stomach ache, whereas I had woken up late. And once during exams, I had seen someone else's answers." At this, Meng Yu says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Everyone makes mistakes. Some people have made mistakes in the past. Some people will make mistakes in the future too. But when they realize their mistake, they correct them. It's not a big deal. Don't blame yourself for making one mistake. Instead of correcting a mistake after making it, people start running away from it. This is wrong." After saying this much, he becomes silent, and Meng Yu leaves from there without saying anything. The next day, Meng Yu goes to the school's mic and apologizes to all the teachers and students, and accepts that she had copied the content, and she will not make such a mistake in the future and will improve her skills. Hearing this, Yiming is very happy that Meng Yu has now come back to school. Then Lingdong and Lanjing together start looking for the person who had posted about this outside. They were about to find out, but Xiaohua comes and stops them. Lanjing says, "Why do you want to do this? Don't you know what people were saying about you? Everyone was blaming you for this." Xiaohua says, "Now everything is fine, so I don't want anyone else to face what I did." Then Meng Yu personally apologizes to Xiaohua. While going home, Lanjing says to Xiaohua, "If we never find the real person, then people will always think that you told everyone about Meng Yu's content theft to drive her out of school. And for the whole year, we both will be blamed for supporting you." At this, Xiaohua gets a little angry and says, "Oh, so you both were doing all this not for me, but for yourselves." They were talking when Yiming comes there and says sorry to Xiaohua. Then one by one, he also says sorry to Lingdong and Lanjing. They also forgive him, and their friendship becomes like before again. In the next scene, we see that a basketball competition was going to be held in the school. The captain of his team is Lan Jing, and their competitors are Bai Peng and his team, but Lan Jing's team has some players short, so he comes to convince Ling Dong. But he says, "I have to study, and I don't even know how to play basketball." So Lan Jing says, I will teach you step by step properly." But Ling Dong gets up and starts leaving from there without listening to him. So Lan Jing says to him, "Hey, listen to me. There is nothing to worry about. I will not charge you any fees for teaching." Ling Dong and Xiaohua are studying, so Lan Jing also comes and sits with them. Xiaohua asks Ling Dong about a question. "I am not getting this. Tell me what I should do." So he starts telling her. After that, Lan Jing says to Ling Dong, "I also want to ask something." He says, "The match is going to start soon. We need 2 more players right now, otherwise we will not be able to play. So tell me what we should do." Ling Dong picks up a book and gives it to him and says, "If you complete this, then I will join your team." Hearing this, Lan Jing starts studying with full concentration. He soon completes that book, and Ling Dong also gets ready to help him. Then they also get other students to join their team. They all practice basketball during the day and study together at night. Ling Dong helps Lan Jing and all the other students who are weak in their studies. Due to studying at night, Lan Jing is sleeping in the class the next day, Just then, the math teacher, seeing him sleeping, calls him to the board to solve a question. Seeing this, all the students laugh a little at him because how will he be able to solve such a difficult question? Lan Jing goes and stands near the board and starts thinking that this was the same question that Ling Dong had explained to him very well yesterday. So he quickly solves that question. Seeing this, the teacher is also impressed with him, and the other students also clap for him. In the next scene, we see that all the boys are practicing football, and the girls are also practicing their dance there. Just then, girls from another class come and tell them to leave from there and say, "You guys have been here for a long time, now clear this place for us." So Meng Yu says to them, "This place is very big, you can go to the other side and do your practice." But those girls start fighting with these people. Just then, the boys of their class also come, among whom is Bi Peng. Those boys also come and start scolding and threatening Xiaohua and the girls of their class. But when the girls also do not remain silent, Bi Peng throws a ball towards them to hit them. But just then, Lan Jing comes forward and catches that ball and then says to Bi Peng, "Apologize to the girls of our class." Bi Peng says, "What will you do if I don't do it?" A fight starts between them over this matter. Just then, the teacher goes there and calms them down. Lan Jing and all the students of his class decide that we will win the match and shut these people's mouths. There is practice for a few days and then their competition day comes. The match starts and both teams are giving each other a good fight. Lan Jing's team's score is higher than Bi Peng's team. Just then, a boy's hand hits the face of a boy from Lan Jing's team, due to which his glasses break and now he is not able to see anything properly. This makes everyone very worried. Lan Jing says, "Do we have to leave this match in the middle now?" So Ling Dong says, "No, now I will play in his place." Hearing this, everyone is shocked because no one had ever seen him play football before. Even after joining Lan Jing's team, he had only become their team's coach. The game starts again, in which Ling Dong scores a goal very well. Seeing this, all his friends are quite impressed and lift him in their arms and start celebrating. But this gives the other team a good chance, and they also score their goal without any difficulty, which increases their points. These people realize that the game is not over yet. They should not celebrate in the middle. Now their chances of winning are very low, but still, in the end, they all try their best, and in this round, their team wins against Bi Peng's team. Everyone is congratulating them when Bi Peng goes to Lan Jing and says, "It is impossible to defeat our team, but you guys did that too. You guys are really very dangerous. You even called your coach to play?" So Lan Jing says to him, "Yes, he was our secret weapon." After this, Lan Jing gets after Ling Dong to join his basketball team. He says, "If you can play so well, then you must join our team." And he also starts telling him the benefits of playing basketball. When you get bored of studying, we can play it and enjoy. And it also makes our muscles strong. Annoyed by his words, Ling Dong takes him to a place. There, some moments of Ling Dong's childhood with his father are shown where he was teaching him to score a goal in basketball. Then he tells Lan Jing, "I only know how to score a goal." So Lan Jing asks, "Why didn't you learn the rest?" Ling Dong says, "After that, my dad passed away, and then I stopped playing basketball." Hearing this, Lan Jing says sorry to him and says, "I didn't know about this." Then he also tells about his parents. "My dad was always busy earning money, due to which he could not give time to my mom and me. And because of this, they used to fight often, and then they got divorced. After this, they both play basketball there for some time, and then sit and talk for a while and go to their homes." The next day, Ling Dong, Lan Jing, and their friends sit and start talking about the second round of the basketball match, which was going to be held soon. Then Lan Jing and Yiming come to see Bi Peng's team practicing. Yiming tells him number 13 in their team is an expert in passing and ball control, and number 9 is a shooting master. His goal never misses. Lan Jing says, "Our shooting master is Ling Dong, right?" Then he looks at Bi Peng and says, "Don't even talk about him. We already know him." I get a little nervous thinking that we will have to face Bi Peng in the next round. Lan Jing says, "Don't worry, everything will be fine." Yiming then says, "Everyone in their team has a very good height, but we are much shorter than them. How will we be able to win against them like this?" Just then, the teacher sees them both hiding there and they have to run from there. Lan Jing and Bi Peng are in the practice room when the coach of the Heng Yuan team comes there, whose name is Vu. Lan Jing and Bi Peng are quite shocked to see them and wonder what they are doing here. They say, "We have come here to choose a student to participate in the trials for the Heng Yuan team." They say, "We need only one student who is the strongest. That's why we are keeping an eye on the match being held here." Now, after hearing this, Lan Jing and Bi Peng both get quite excited because they both wanted to join their international team. The match starts again. This time, Lan Jing's dad also comes to cheer him up. In the previous round, Lan Jing's team plays very well. During the match, the ball is about to hit Xiaohua, but Ling Dong comes and protects her, but at the same time he faints because he was very tired. After resting for a while, the match starts again. It was very difficult for Lan Jing's team to win against Bi Peng's team, but still, these people give a very good performance. A goal which is very difficult is also scored by Ling Dong, and their team's points increase, and they start celebrating this. But the time was not over yet, and Peng sees an opportunity and scores one last goal, and they win the match. These people had worked very hard and gave an even better performance, but they lost the match due to carelessness. Everyone is upset by this, and Lan Jing is the most upset because now he could not join the international team. The next day when all the students come to school, Yiming is explaining to them, we should not go inside and talk to Lan Jing about the match, but when they come inside, they see that Lan Jing was busy cleaning the classroom. And seeing them, he says, why have you guys come so late? Don't you know that we have to work harder to get better? They are all very surprised to see his enthusiasm. Then they all sit and study, and soon their exams arrive. After the exams, when their results come, Ling Dong has come first. Lan Jing and Xiaohua's marks are also much better than before. Lan Jing is shocked to hear his marks. At first, he thinks that Ling Dong is joking with him, but when he says, you really got such good marks, he becomes very happy. Then all of their vacations start, in which they enjoy a lot. After enjoying the initial weeks, Ling Dong and Lan Jing decide that now they will study, and then they also come to Xiaohua's house to talk about this. Ling Dong says, all three of us have studied together throughout the year, and our results have been very good. That's why we think that group study is much better. Xiaohua agrees to this. Then she and Ling Dong go to Lan Jing's house for group study. There, Lan Jing's grandma welcomes them very well. Then the three of them sit and study together, and also play games for a while during the break time. While studying, Lan Jing spills water on Ling Dong's pants and then gives him his panda dress to wear, in which Ling Dong was looking very cute. Seeing this, he says to him, I think this dress is specially made for you. Then New Year comes. Ling Dong and Xiaohua celebrate New Year at home with their parents, but Lan Jing was alone at his home because his dad had gone out for work and grandma was not at home. So Ling Dong and Xiaohua come to his house and enjoy a lot together. Lan Jing was living alone at home, so Ling Dong brings him home with him. His mom takes great care of Lan Jing. When it's time to sleep, Ling Dong asks him, do you snore while sleeping? He immediately says with great confidence, I never snore while sleeping. And after this, when he is sleeping, he is snoring a lot, due to which Ling Dong is not able to sleep at all. Annoyed by him, he lays a mattress down and sleeps. The next day, Lan Jing's grandma comes back and he goes to his house. And then their school also starts. Yiming asks Lan Jing, did you miss me? At this, he says, oh, stop it, I didn't. At this, Yiming gets upset and says, you have changed a lot, brother. You don't love me anymore. But Lan Jing leaves him there and goes away. All the friends meet each other in the class. After school, when Lan Jing comes home, he hears his dad talking to someone on a call, who was saying, Ling Dong is very smart. He always helps Lan Jing in his studies, so give him money on time. Hearing this, Lan Jing gets very upset. He feels that Ling Dong, who used to help him so much until now, was just doing it for money, not because of friendship. That's why when Ling Dong gives him a question to solve in school the next day, Lan Jing doesn't listen to him at all. Seeing this, Ling Dong asks, did something happen? So Lan Jing says, no, I just don't want to do it. It's my wish. Saying this, he leaves. Yiming and Xiaohua also find this very strange. Yiming asks Ling Dong, did something happen between you two? Xiaohua also asks the same question, but he says, I don't know. The next day, when Ling Dong again talks to him about studies, Lan Jing shouts at him, whether I study or not is my personal matter. It has nothing to do with you. Seeing his rude behavior, Ling Dong doesn't say anything more to him, and he also gets angry and leaves. Then their class comes for outdoor camping. There, the teacher asks them to play a leg game. All the students form their teams and start practicing, but Ling Dong and Lan Jing are in Xiaohua's team, and they are both just busy fighting with each other, due to which they are not able to practice. Then at night, Yiming is telling everyone a horror story, which scares Lan Jing a lot, and he comes out from there. Ling Dong also goes after him and asks, why did you come out? So he says, now I am not in school. Why are you taking care of me now? Ling Dong says, I am your uncle. I have to take care of you. And why are you behaving so strangely these days? What has happened to you? I just wanted to help you with your studies. Why did you get angry about that? Lan Jing says, did my dad give you a scholarship? So he says, do you think I was helping you because your dad gave me a scholarship? Lan Jing asks, just tell me whether they gave you a scholarship or not. At this, Ling Dong says, yes, they did. Lan Jing says, I thought you were being nice to me because you considered me your friend. But now I think you were doing all this just for money. So Ling Dong says, okay, if that's the case, then tell me, why did I help you in the talent show? Lan Jing says, you asked me to complete a book, I did that. That's why you helped me. Then he asks, when Peng locked you in the room, why did I go there to help you? So he says, because you wanted to be a good person in front of me. Then Ling Dong asks, why did I participate in the basketball match? At this, Lan Jing says, maybe you wanted to show off. Ling Dong had done all these things just to help him because he considered him his friend. But hearing such answers from Lan Jing, he gets hurt and says, yes, you understood correctly. I was just showing off until now. And saying this, he gets angry and leaves. After he leaves, Lanjing also realizes that maybe he made a mistake. Just then, Yiming comes there and says to him, Ling Dong is very good to you. You should apologize to him. Hearing this, Lanjing says, you also think I am wrong? You don't even know what happened. So Yiming says, I don't need to know what happened. I know that it's your fault. Ling Dong is really very good. How many times he has helped you? You should thank from your heart. Hearing this, Lanjing puts his hand on his stomach. So Yiming scolds him and says, this is the stomach. Put your hand on your heart. Then he says, you should think from your heart. You will understand everything. Lanjing says, you have suddenly come up with such good advice for me. So Yiming says, yes, I have been talented since childhood. After this, Lanjing starts trying to convince Ling Dong from the next morning. At night, both are sitting by a fire. Lanjing is still trying to convince him when he hears a rumbling sound from Ling Dong's stomach. Hearing this, he says, it must be the sound of my leg. My stomach must be upset. It's my fault. Saying all this, he goes to steal food for him. But there was a lock there, so he starts to go back. Just then, he sees that Ling Dong has already come there. He had gone inside through the window and calls Lanjing from there too. Both are about to steal food and run away when the teacher comes there. Ling Dong takes him and hides in a corner. The teacher was about to come through the door, so Ling Dong says, let's run through the window. But Lanjing starts remembering his trauma, due to which he was not able to muster the courage to get up from there. That's why Ling Dong jumps out of the window in front of the teacher and runs, and the teacher goes after him, due to which Lanjing easily gets out of there. Then both of them meet, and Lanjing says to him, you run quite fast. The teacher couldn't even catch you. Then both of them sit and start talking. Ling Dong says, in the beginning, you were very irritable. You troubled me a lot, but when I got to know you and started to understand you, I realized what good friends are. I used to be alone always, but you slowly changed me. Hearing this, Lanjing says, you either don't speak, and when you do, you just keep saying sweet things. Then he asks him the reason for not being able to run from the room. So he tells him about his past trauma and says, I am scared of closed rooms. When a light suddenly falls on me in the dark, I get scared of that too. Then he asks Ling Dong, how can you be my uncle? He says, we have no blood relation. Actually, Ling Dong's dad and Lanjing's dad were very good friends of each other. Then the next day, there is a leg game in which Yiming and Meng Yu's team wins, and Xiaohua's team is last. She says, you both also lost because of me. So Lanjing says, where did we lose? We have crossed the finishing line, which means we have won. Yes, we just reached here last, but what difference does it make? After this, everyone comes back to school. Xiaohua wanted to study further with arts, but mom didn't like it because she thought that there is absolutely no money in this career. Xiaohua talks to her friends about this, so Lanjing says, you should go for arts class without telling mom. So she says, my coaching time and art class are both at the same time. So he says, I'll create a clone of you. Then one of you can go to coaching and the other to art class. At this, Ling Dong says to him, yes, this is a good idea. Go and try it on yourself first. So Lanjing says, I was just joking. Instead of laughing at it, why do you get so serious? Then Ling Dong gives an idea. No one will know you in the coaching class, so you can send someone else in your place there. After this, they all get Lanjing ready to go to Xiaohua's place. He asks, yeah, do I really look like you? So Xiaohua says, yes, just a little taller. Then when Lanjing goes from there for coaching in her place, everyone laughs a lot at him. And then Ling Dong sends Xiaohua for art class. Now she starts going for art class like this every day, but one day her mom sees her with Ling Dong and also clicks their pictures. She shows that picture to Xiaohua's dad, so he says, this boy is very handsome, he must be just like me. They thought that he was Xiaohua's boyfriend. To find more proof, she goes to her room where she finds another photo of Xiaohua in which both Ling Dong and Lanjing are with her. Seeing this, they both get confused as to who is Xiaohua's boyfriend among these two. Then in the evening when Xiaohua comes home, mom asks, you told me that you have a classmate who helps you with your studies. Who is he? At this, she names Ling Dong. So mom says, oh, so you used to go to his house for group study during the vacation. At this, Xiaohua says, no, that's Lanjing. I used to go to his house. At this, dad says, okay, so which of these two boys is better? But mom handles the situation and says, they have helped you so much in your studies, so we want to invite them to our house for dinner. The next day, Xiaohua talks to both of them about this, and they also come to her house for dinner at night. There, Ling Dong and Lanjing serve food to each other, so mom thinks, these two are busy serving food to each other instead of serving our daughter. How will we know which boy is best for her like this? Then Xiaohua serves something for Ling Dong, so mom thinks that maybe he is her boyfriend. But then she also serves Lanjing. Seeing this, they both get confused again. Then mom asks Lanjing, your house is quite far from the school, right? So do you come by bus or metro? So he says, I use a bicycle. Seeing this, they think that he is poor. Then they ask Ling Dong, you must be going by bus, right? So he also says, no, I also use a bicycle. Before mom asks anything else, Xiaohua says to them, why are you busy interviewing them? Let them eat comfortably. They both leave after having dinner. The confusion for which mom and dad had worked so hard is not cleared. While going home, Ling Dong and Lan Jing are talking to each other. Lan Jing says, who do you think uncle and auntie liked more, you or me? So Ling Dong says, what is there to ask in this? Of course, they will like me. But Lan Jing says, they must have liked me. Didn't you see how she was looking at me? Ling Dong says, while leaving, uncle gave me an orange. Did he give you one? They both leave, talking like this. In the next scene, we see that Xiaohua was smiling a lot looking at her phone. So her mom and dad think that she must be talking to her boyfriend. As soon as Xiaohua puts her phone down and moves away, they quickly go and start checking her phone. But she was reading a novel. Seeing this, dad says, I think we are doubting her for no reason. She studies all the time. Then where will she get the time to do all this? Mom also finds his point correct. Then dad asks Xiaohua, are you in a relationship with someone? She says, no. The next day, she tells this to Ling Dong and Lan Jing. Hearing this, they both laugh a lot. Lan Jing says, they think that one of us is your boyfriend. That's why they called us for dinner, to test us. Xiaohua says, yes, it is like that. Lan Jing asks, then whom did they choose between us? So she says, Daddy said that as soon as he saw you both, he understood that we are just friends. Lan Jing says, I am so handsome and attractive, couldn't they even suspect me? So Ling Dong says to him, they must have rejected you at first sight because they liked me from the beginning. So Lan Jing says, son, self-obsession is a disease. You should get it treated soon. So he says, sorry, there is no cure for self-confidence. Then Xiaohua draws a sketch for which Lan Jing becomes her model. But he was not able to sit in the same pose for long, so Ling Dong goes and starts supporting him. And Xiaohua draws both of them together like this. In the next scene, we see that Xiaohua's mom finds out that she is learning painting secretly from them, which makes her very angry with her. She says to Xiaohua, you are just drawing for fun right now, but later this excitement will end and you will need money. And it is very difficult to make a career in this field. So Xiaohua says, I know it's not easy. That's why I want to work hard on it from now on. And you also let me do what I want to do. But mom doesn't listen to her and doesn't give her permission either. That's why Xiaohua cries a lot. Dad explains to her, mom is doing this for your good future. You will understand all this when you grow up. Then all of them have their entrance exams, in which all the students have got very good marks. Xiaohua goes home and tells her marks, but her mom and dad are not excited at all. Mom says, okay, now go to your room and rest and let us watch TV. This makes her upset and she goes to her room, but when she comes to the room, she sees that the room has colors and painting brushes and all those things that she needed for painting. Just then, mom also comes there and says, will our daughter start crying seeing all this? So dad says, yes, it's possible. Artists are anyway full of emotions. Xiaohua is very happy to see this, that her parents are also supporting her in fulfilling her dream. In the next scene, we see that all the children had applied for university. Only Ling Dong had not. Lan Jing is a little worried about this. Then we see Ling Dong, who has come to the hospital with his mom. His mom's health is very bad. When Lan Jing finds out about this, he also reaches the hospital. After knowing about their condition, he goes to get medicine. When he comes back, he sees that Ling Dong is crying a lot, alone in the washroom. He quietly keeps watching him from a distance. After some time, Ling Dong comes out and asks him, why are you still here? So Lan Jing says, I will stay with you. You must be tired. Go and rest. But Ling Dong says, no, you go home. I will handle everything here alone. But Lan Jing does not listen to him and stays with him until his mom's health gets better. After they get well, Lan Jing starts coming to school again. He and Xiaohua were sitting and talking. Lan Jing says to him, my desk mate is not here, so I don't feel like being here. Just then, Ling Dong comes there and says, I didn't expect you to miss me so much. Seeing him, both of them become very happy, and then they all sit together and start their studies. Then when Ling Dong comes home, his mom, Lan Jing, and Xiaohua have planned a birthday surprise for him. Ling Dong cuts the cake, and even on his cake, math formulas were written. The next day, while coming from school, Ling Dong tells Lan Jing, I will not go to university because now I have to stay with my mom to take care of her. Lan Jing says, then what about your dream? Ling Dong says, when I was young, I saw my dad going to the emergency room from where he never came back. And this time, I have seen my mom going there too, but I don't want to lose her. Lan Jing also finds this decision of his correct and says, maybe if I were in your place, I would have done the same. When he goes home, his mom also talks to him about this and says, the teacher has told me everything. I know you are doing all this because of me, but my health is not more important than your future. And going to the UK to study was your dream. Ling Dong says, Mom, but now I don't want to go there. I just want to be with you. This is my dream. Saying this, he leaves. Then all of their vacations start. All the students were telling what they were going to do in the holidays. Yiming says, as soon as the holidays start, various uncles and aunties whom I don't even know, they all bring their children to my house. And they spend all the time making a mess in my house, creating a ruckus. And they also use my things. I get very annoyed by all this. At this, Lan Jing lies, oh, I don't have any such problem. And after this, as soon as he comes home, his annoying cousin sister has come home, who bothers him a lot all the time. Then we see Ling Dong and his mom. Mom again talks to him about university. So Ling Dong says, we have already talked about this. Now I am not going to change my decision. Mom says, I know that going there is your dream, and I also want to see my son become successful. You are not going there just because of me. So I have decided that I will also go with you now. This way, we will both be together, and your dream will also be fulfilled. Ling Dong also likes this idea, and he also becomes happy. Then their school starts again. On the first day of school, Xiaohua is quite upset. Lan Jing asks her, why are you so upset? Has someone bothered you? So she says, students more talented than me are working harder than me. I am afraid whether I will be able to get admission in PUK University or not. So Lan Jing says, there are still 4 months left for its exam. Then why are you so worried from now on? You should have faith in yourself. Ling Dong also says the same thing to her. You just work hard. We are all with you. Both of them motivate her a lot, which cheers her up. Then everyone comes to the class. The teacher tells them that their college entrance exams will start soon. They should prepare well for it. While coming back from school, Lan Jing says to Xiaohua and Ling Dong, why are you both so quiet today? It's not that you guys are worried about the college entrance exam. He says this and moves a little forward when his eyes fall on a lady, seeing whom he is shocked and stands there. She is Lan Jing's mom. He is very happy to see them, and then sits on the side with his mom and starts talking. He tells them about his friends, that they are very good. Mom says, I used to want to see you a lot. Your brother is still young, so I had to take care of him. And there was work too, so I couldn't come. She tells about her other son. He has turned 6 now, and he wants to meet you too. At this, Lan Jing says, when I saw him, he was very small. I don't think he remembers me. Mom says, he remembers you. After all, you both have a blood relation. You are both my sons. Lan Jing says, you should come to our house tomorrow. You will also meet Grandma, and we will spend a good time together. But Mom says, I have to go to my parents' house tomorrow, so I can't come. After that, I will definitely come to your house. The next day, Lan Jing is studying with Ling Dong and Xiaohua. Ling Dong gives him several pages and says, translate these from English to Chinese language. Those pages are quite a lot, so seeing them, Lan Jing says to him, you know that translating costs its money. So Ling Dong says, do you know that tuition also costs money? Hearing this, he gets to work. Then Lan Jing comes to a restaurant to meet his mom. After eating there, he also takes her to tour his city. Mom asks, you are spending time with me these days, so will it not have a bad effect on your studies? He tells them, it's not like that. Yes, I was a little weak in studies before, but now it's different. I have a classmate, Ling Dong, who always helps me with my studies, so now I have improved a lot, and I am also the main player of the school's basketball team. He was telling all this very excitedly, but Mom was looking a little upset, and then she asks, I heard you are going to give college entrance exams soon. There are many good universities in Singapore too. Would you like to study in a university there? So he says, I understand what you are trying to say, but I have good friends here. I don't want to leave all of them. Just then, Mom gets a call from someone and she goes to the side to talk. When she comes back to Lan Jing, he starts showing her the video of his talent show performance. Lan Jing thought that Mom would be very happy to see all this, but she had become even more upset since the call came. He leaves from there before her and Mom calls his dad to talk. She says to them, I want to take Lan Jing with me, so you talk to him about this. So they say, I am not stopping you from meeting Lan Jing, isn't that enough? If you want me to convince him to go with you, then it is impossible. Mom says, I have already met my brother and other people, but their bone marrow does not match my son's. Now Lan Jing is my last hope. Here we find out that Mom has come here not to meet Lan Jing, but to get his bone marrow transplanted into her other son. And she wants to take Lan Jing with her to Singapore for the surgery. Dad asks, you just met Lan Jing. What did he say about going with you? And so Mom says, I have not told him about this. Dad says, this is his last year. At this time, studies are very important for him. If you want to take him, you should talk to him personally about this. If he wants to go with you, he can go. Otherwise, I will not force him. In the next scene, we see that Lan Jing makes a bouquet with his own hands. He was going to give it to his mom when he stops there after hearing his dad and Grandma's conversation. Grandma was saying, if Lan Jing really goes to Singapore, will he be able to come back? At this age, I can't see my grandson go through trouble. Dad, explaining to them, says, it's not as serious as you are thinking. I also don't want all this, but it's a question of that child's life. Lan Jing and William are stepbrothers, but their mom is the same. That's why their bone marrow matches perfectly. Grandma says, "This is not a normal thing. I get scared just thinking about his surgery. If any problem arises in it, how will I live?" So Dad says, "Why are you so worried? He hasn't even gone yet." But Grandma says he is so happy that his mom has come back. But when I think about the past, I remember that she had said that she would take Lan Jing abroad with her, and she really took him. But then what happened? She married someone else there and sent my Lan Jing back alone. I can't even imagine how much Lan Jing must have suffered there. For so many years, she never came back to meet Lan Jing, but now that Lan Jing is needed, she is showing her love for him again. His final exams are about to start. This is an important time for him to study. So no matter what happens, I can't send him with his mom at all. Hearing all this, Lan Jing gets a shock, and the bouquet falls from his hand and breaks there. Dad also hears its sound, and they find out that Lan Jing has also found out everything. That's why they talk to him about this directly. Your brother has leukemia. He needs a bone marrow transplant. They have checked all their relatives for this, but his bone marrow does not match with anyone. That's why all your mom's hopes are pinned on you now. After some time, Mom also comes there and apologizing to him says, "I know I am being selfish." So Lan Jing says to them, "There is no need to explain to me. I am ready to go to Singapore with you." Grandma says to him, "If you don't want to go, then no one can force you." But Lan Jing says, "No, Grandma, he is my brother. Even if my mom hadn't told me about it, I would have gone. Don't worry about me." Then he asks Mom, "When are we leaving?" Mom says, "Your brother's health is not good. We should leave as soon as possible." So he says, "Okay, I will pack my things." They have to leave for Singapore the next morning. At night, Lan Jing is sitting and studying when Dad comes to him and says, "When you go there, you will change your SIM. What if someone wants to contact you?" Lan Jing says, "I have contacted everyone who was necessary." Then Dad says, "Take care of yourself when you go there, and if you need anything, let me know." The next day, all these students have an interview at school. After giving his interview, Ling Dong is thinking about Lan Jing. Today was such an important day, but why didn't he come? Just then, Xiaohua says he has gone abroad. He messaged me last night. Xia Qing and Yiming also say, yes, he also messaged me that he is going to Singapore with his mom. Hearing this, Ling Dong feels very bad because Lan Jing had told everyone else about his departure except him. After this, they have a written test, which Ling Dong completes first and immediately runs towards Lan Jing's house. He was leaving for Singapore with his mom. Before Ling Dong reaches there, Lan Jing gets into the car and leaves. Ling Dong calls out to him and runs after him for some distance. There we are shown a scene from their childhood when Lan Jing had gone abroad with his mom as a child. Then, too, Ling Dong was running after his car like this to stop him, but the car did not stop then and it does not stop now, and Lan Jing leaves. After this, Ling Dong misses Lan Jing a lot in the class, on the playground, everywhere. He goes home and calls him too, but his number was switched off. He is worried that why Lan Jing did not tell him anything about his departure. A lot of time passes like this, then we see Lan Jing, who is in the hospital with his mom. His surgery has been done. Mom is feeding him soup. He likes the soup. So Mom says, "If you like this, I will make it for you every day." Then she says to him, "I have seen that your dad is always busy with work, and Grandma is also old now, so there is no one there to take care of you. So can you stay here with me? You can start your studies here. I will take care of you like your brother." But he doesn't say anything about it. Then we see a scene of the school where the teacher says, "This is the first day of your last semester," which means that today all those students are here who will now prepare for the college entrance exam. Today, 519 students have gathered here. Just then, a voice comes from behind. "No, we are 520. Hearing this voice, everyone starts looking back. The door opens and Lan Jing enters there. Seeing him, the teacher and all his friends and students become very happy because now everyone thought that maybe Lan Jing is not going to study here anymore. But he had surprised everyone by coming here. Then we are shown a flashback when Mom had asked, "Would you like to stay here with me?" So Lan Jing had said, "Mom, I have important friends in China. I have my grandma, and most importantly, my dad will be very lonely without me. You still have your family, but Dad has no one else besides me." Hearing this, Mom says, "It seems you have made your decision. Okay, I will not force you either, but whenever you get time, come to meet me." He says, "Yes," to this. We see the school scene again. Ling Dong, angry with Lan Jing, was walking ahead quietly, so he calls out to him and stops him and says, "I thought you would miss me when I was not there, but you are ignoring me." Ling Dong says, "Yes, I didn't miss you. Now we are going to a new class. I have new friends there, new classmates. I can now focus well on my studies. There is no one there to bother me." So Lan Jing says, "If that's the case, then why did you make so many calls and send so many messages to me?" Hearing this, Ling Dong gets angry at him and says angrily, "When you saw my messages, then why didn't you reply? You went abroad and didn't even think it was necessary to tell me once. Do you even know how much I missed you when you were not here?" Hearing all this, Lan Jing hugs him. As soon as he is hugged, Ling Dong's anger subsides. And then calming him down, Lan Jing says, well, at least I gotta know how much you care for me. He also tells him about his bone marrow transplant. Hearing this, Ling Dong gets even more worried. But Lan Jing says, I am fine now. There is nothing to worry about. Then everyone studies very well, and soon their final exams arrive. All the students' parents come to drop them off at school. Lan Jing's dad explains to him, read the questions carefully and write well. He says, okay, to them, and leaves. So dad calls him back and hugs him and then tells him to go. Just then, Ling Dong also comes there with his mom. He goes towards the exam hall and his mom starts talking to dad. They both see the teachers there who are motivating the students. Dad, seeing them, says to Ling Dong's mom, the teachers are more nervous than the students. Lan Jing sees Xiaohua and says, oh, you came so early? You look quite energetic. What did you eat for food? Xiaoqing answers this and says, I ate a full meal today. Just then, Ling Dong also comes there. So Lan Jing also says the same thing to him. Oh, you also came so early. So Yiming says, on such an important day, we should come early. Then all the students congratulate each other for the exams and go inside. After giving the exam, everyone meets outside. Lan Jing asks Xiaohua, how was your exam? So she says, I don't know, I didn't even think about it. Then he asks Ling Dong, how was your exam? So he also says the same thing. I don't know, I also didn't think about it. So Lan Jing says, hey, why aren't you guys thinking about this? At this, Ling Dong says, now the exam is over. What's the use of thinking about it? He says, okay, then let's go. In the next scene, we see that Ling Dong is sitting in a place with his bag and all the girls are busy taking his books and copies. Lan Jing is watching all this sitting from a distance and says to Yiming, why are these girls dying to take his books? These are just old books. So Xiaoqing says, don't you know, if you get something from a good student, then that thing is lucky for your study life. All of Ling Dong's books are finished, but still some girls did not get the books, so they get upset. Just then, they remember about the monitor and they all run towards him to take his book. At the same time, some girls were talking, Lan Jing is also the lucky star of our school. Didn't you see that when he came here, he was so behind in studies, but then he improved so much? Hearing this, Lan Jing says, yes, I am a lucky star. Come here. All the girls get after him. After taking his books and copies, they also start asking for his photo, pen, autograph, all these things. Annoyed by this, he has to run away from there. Then all the students sit together and get their photos clicked, and then they all go together and sing on the terrace. Hearing their song, the other students of the school who were in the class, they also come out. Lan Jing gives his speech first in front of them. He says, today our school journey is complete, but yours has just begun. So today we want to tell you something. Never be disappointed in life. This is not our school's rule. Then Ling Dong says to them, don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of loneliness either, because what you are experiencing now, many people have experienced that. So there is nothing to worry about. Then Yiming comes forward and says, don't pay attention to what others say, just keep walking on your path. After this, Meng Yu says, there is no shortcut to success. It can only be achieved by working hard. Then Xiaoqing says, even if studies are boring and seem difficult, you still have to study. Eat good food, take care of yourself. Then the monitor says, don't waste time, it will never come back, and take care of the people around you, give them importance. Then Xiaohua says, in your youth, don't do anything that you will regret later. As long as you keep working hard, you will have no regrets. Then all the students together repeat this line, as long as you keep working hard, you will have no regrets. Go ahead, you are the best. The whole school had heard this speech of these people, even the teachers. Then we see a scene from sometime later when everyone's college life had started. Xiaohua had held a solo art exhibition where all her friends came, but she was waiting for Ling Dong and Lan Jing. When both of them do not come even after a long time, she starts her speech. Just then, she gets a video of both of them, which she plays in front of everyone. In that video, Lan Jing and Ling Dong were seen in space. Lan Jing says, we are sending blessings from space to all our people living on Earth. Today is our school friend Xiaohua's art exhibition, but unfortunately, we cannot be present there. But no matter, we are sending blessings from space to her that her exhibition is successful. The rest of you can see that we are in space. While saying this, the camera comes in front of them, and we are shown that both of them were sitting in front of the TV and recording this video. Seeing all this, everyone laughs a lot at them. Then Xiaohua says, Ling Dong and Lan Jing, come out. Just then, everyone moves to the side and both of them come there. Xiaohua asks them, why did you do all this? So Ling Dong says, this was not my idea, it was Lan Jing's. So Lan Jing says, we did all this just to surprise you. I thought you would be completely shocked to see us in space. By the way, you are the first person to whom blessings have been sent from space. Hearing this, Xiaohua comes to them and says, if you both love space so much, then why don't I send you back there? Saying this, she starts running after them. All the friends are laughing seeing this, and with this moment, the drama has a happy ending.